Welcome. In front of me is a Nothing Phone 3, and today I'll be going over unboxing, quick look at the device, its specifications, and also just my general thoughts on this specific model of the Nothing phone. So even though this device departed a little bit in terms of the design aesthetic of the typical Nothing phone, it still has this Nothing vibe to it with the exposed kind of glass, with these visible elements right here. But anyway, we're just gonna pop it open and take an actual closer look to this in a second once I find a knife. There we go. Now I'm not sure why do we have this weird sticker, premium brand distribution. Okay, I'm not sure what the hell that is supposed to be about. Anyway, oh, now I know what it is about. It's already an open device. Okay. You see this little strip right here? Let me educate people that don't know what this is, but there we go. This sticker isn't there. Come on, screw off. So, typically, for the new Nothing devices, you have this all the way through, and there is a thing that is glued on here that you have to rip off. See if I can actually show this maybe on... Oh yeah, there we go. So these are the headphones. And you should supposed to have something like that. When you peel it off, you're left with this. But some dipshit decided to put this sticker like he's gonna fool me, like I'm some kind of buffoon, a typical American. So yeah, no, this is not new, as new usually isn't open. But anyway, let's just progress through this as though it is brand new. So that's basically everything in here. So we open it up like a nice little booklet. I do have to give props in terms of presentation. How this is, so nice. My OCD is pleasantly surprised. So we have symmetrically separated these 2 points. For curiosity, oh no, never mind. Okay, I guess it explains why it seems symmetric, as the other side has the case for the device. Anyway, I'm gonna close the door. So in here we get this weird looking case with a lot of holes here. Okay, then we get our again the nicely branded Type-C cable. Nothing, a little bit of clearance here, so it's like clear plastic. Do like their touches, Nothing touches that they have for the devices to make them look unique. We have the SIM ejector, see the transparent one, again, like to see that. And the phone itself. There we go. Now let's yeet that to the side. Get to the device. So, right at about while taking it out, it is a chunky phone. It has some heft to it. It feels premium. We have what looks to be aluminum frame, or maybe even titanium, possibly. No, it is aluminum frame. Have glass back with our pressure sensitive area right here for the... It has a haptic feedback when you press on it. Anyway, I'm gonna go quickly through the setup just so we can get a quick glance at the screen to body ratio and how the display actually looks like. But the display right here is a 6.67 inch display with a resolution of 1260 by 2800 pixels. It's a OLED display, 1 billion colors, 120 Hz refresh rate, HDR10 plus, and a peak brightness of 4500 nits. So it gets pretty bright. It's a nice display all in all. We also have 88.5% screen to body ratio, which you can see right now. You just crank up the brightness so it's maybe a little bit more visible. There we go, that's like almost maxed out. Could maybe possibly look at different wallpaper. Customize. So this gives us pretty decent kind of look in terms of, you know, bezels and how camera's picking it up. There we go. As you can see right now. What did I miss? Oh, Corning Gorilla Glass 7i as a cover right here. This isn't the newest one, so it's not as durable, but it's basically pretty much out there. And we also have a pre-applied screen protector. If I lock the device, you can see right here, this circle right here around the camera, that's our screen protector. You can see bezels right here. So yeah. Now, one thing to talk about when it comes down to the build quality, even though the device feels solid, I hate this. This essential space button seems like such an afterthought. Just remove it, please. Want nothing. So, couple of things. It's made out of plastic. It's glassy compared to all the buttons kind of fitting the same kind of shade of the phone. So you can see that the buttons right here look exactly the same, like they are made out of aluminum, which I think they are, like the frame is. But this button has a glassy plastic look to it, feels like absolute dog shit. And additionally, it's right below the power button. So you might sometimes press it instead of the power button. What it does, it takes screenshots. Double press it, takes you to the essential space. It's an absolute useless trash that I genuinely despise, and you can't turn it off from as far as I can tell. Which just makes it freaking annoying that it's in such an inconvenient place. Like, it's so easy for you to mistake these two buttons together when just trying to fiddle around and press one of them. So I genuinely despise this button. It feels like an afterthought. It feels like an added thing just to push some new garbage. So even Samsung doesn't do that when they decided to just push Bixby. Actually, no, I take that back. They did try to add a button for Bixby, but then they just removed the power button instead and made that to their Bixby. So it seems like nothing right here is going with the same vibe. We're gonna first try to do a button if people reject it, which they will. Statistically speaking, that's what happened with Samsung. Are you gonna put it under the power button too, like Samsung did? Just remove it. We don't want it. No one likes that shit. Now, when it comes down to the back, let's talk about the cameras. We have a triple camera setup along with a display, which is main selling point of this device, but to be honest, just find it gimmicky. But let's first start with the cameras. So all three cameras are whopping 50 megapixel sensors. One is f1.7, 24mm wide, f2.7 periscope telephoto, f2.2 ultra wide. Now with these cameras you can do 4K at 60 frames and 1080p also at 60. And then at the front we got another 50 megapixel sensor, that is f2.2 wide sensor, that does 4K 60. So yeah, this phone, every camera that it has is just 50 megapixel. Damn, that is, honestly, props for that. That is insane. I haven't seen a phone that just straight up put 50 everywhere. Usually it's kind of like 50-50 and then 8 megapixel or 5 megapixel. But no, nothing decided to just crap all 50s. Thanks. That is actually a pretty good thing. So all cameras are equally good, I would say. Now, in terms of the internals, even though the device is a bit chunky, because this isn't a thin phone, here's a Samsung S25. You can see it's significantly thicker. Trying to kind of give a side-by-side. So you can see it has just several millimeters more thickness to it, and the cameras also protrude much more than they do on Samsung. So this is a chunky phone, but the reason I'm pointing that out specifically is because even though it's a chunky phone, it doesn't give us anything that actually makes up for this chunk. So it's a 5150 mAh battery with a 65 watts charging on a cable and 15 wirelessly. With this thickness, I would have expected at least 6000 milliamps, but I guess nothing falls short here. That sounds wrong. Damn, the branding right here, when they try to do bad things, it's hard to criticize because I'm saying like nothing is wrong with it. So anyway, so yeah, it's chunky phone while still having a relatively small battery for the thickness that it comes in. Now, in terms of the processor, battery, or not battery, processor, RAM and storage, we have at base entry 256 gig storage with 12 gigs of RAM, or half a terabyte with 16 gigs of RAM, and both options being UFS 4.0 storage type. Again, a little bit of a departure from flagships. Typically would be like what, 4.1 UFS storage type, I think is the newest one. Let me just quickly make sure. Alright. Oh no, it's UFS 4.0, so never mind, I am wrong here. So yeah, this is actually the fast storage type, or the fastest. Now, anything else that I didn't mention right here? Alright, the processor. Snapdragon 8S Gen 4. So it's not really the 8 Elite. And all of that you get for roughly about $800. So it's not the cheapest phone, considering it's a nothing device. It's actually relatively expensive, and this is their what could be considered as a more premium device. It is, I believe, at the moment the most expensive one that they have, and the only gimmick here that they have, the kind of like upselling point, is this display. So we have this Glyph display, and honestly, it seems like such a gimmick to me. I don't think I would ever be using this. Now, previously they had the lights, and that was fine, but like, this supposed to substitute those like lighting patterns for whatever notifications and other things, and they substituted with this Glyph matrix right here that you can flip through by pressing the button. This is a button right here, a push sensitive button, and you can just get basic information, like for instance the battery level, the time, or a little of a kind of battle, which I think, there we go, you get to spin it. So cool. Now if I'm at a party and I'm gonna be whipping out my phone to do the battle game like this, I'm gonna get clowned on. Considering it's a party, there are battles laying around, and let's be honest, it's more fun to twist around an actual battle than hold the damn button, like, the battle is spinning, yay, like, you would look like such a dork with this. So yeah, not necessarily the best kind of choice right here, and furthermore, this is supposed to give us more information, but it's still limited from what I've watched. It doesn't give us all the information, it doesn't give us like message information, it doesn't really give us some kind of picture when someone is calling or anything like that, even though it technically could try to. And it's supposed to substitute the Glyph, but if it's substituting it in a crappy way, I might as well just keep the phone like this, and when someone's calling, I can see the entire display. I don't need a crappier version of what I have already right here. This outperforms this 100%, no matter what you do with it, no matter how well you try to design this, it will never be as good as the main display. The moment it's as good as the main display or better, that becomes the main display. So this is pointless, and the reason for me to use this would need to be to place the phone on its screen. Number one, I don't think anyone likes to place their phone on their screen. If you are, go see a doctor, unless you really like scratched up displays. So that's number one. And number two, if I want to see some information that are coming in, notifications, stuff like that, and this is the thing that I'm looking at, I might as well just flip it the other way and see it right here when it shows up. So that display is just absolutely useless. The Glyph was, I would say, had its purpose, as it didn't give you enough information, but it just gave you a something. So you'd know that you get some notification, but if you are trying to focus, you don't know what, so you probably won't check it. It's a notification, whatever, who cares? Here, it might tell you from what application that is, and automatically defeats the purpose of it, because if I'm already checking out what notification I got, or from who, or if someone is trying to contact me, then I might as well just flip it over and have the same kind of information right here. And nothing has changed, just better presentation. So yeah, I personally don't like this approach, and considering the device is a little bit too expensive for what it offers, I just would prefer to spend the same money on, for instance, this. It has a faster processor, and other than that, they're both, I would say, equally kind of crap. None of them really exceed at anything, I would say. So yeah, this is just, I would say, nothing's first kind of L right here. I genuinely love their CMF phones. They are absolutely insane. They're amazing. The value that they offer is uncomparable to anything. And this is basically the same company that went from uncomparable value to pulling a Samsung by basically creating a phone that isn't really worth it. Now, it might have a good processor in here and all that, but the same price is for a Samsung. They weren't selling as well. They have longer life support, as they are supported for 7 years instead of 5 like this one. And they just might offer you a better value for your money. So this phone is just kind of baffling to me. And yeah, like I said, I think it's the first nothings kind of lose. So if you're looking for a great phone that offers just amazing value for money, this one doesn't really seem like it. It's a decent phone, I don't want to take away from it. Nothing creates good phones, but I feel like you're paying a little bit too much for that Glyph display right here that doesn't really serve anything but a gimmick. So with that, if you're not hellbent on this device, maybe look for some other one. Anyway, with that being said, hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you did, don't forget to smash like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.